go on YouTube. This video we're going to call The Devil Made Me Do It. And I got to start by confessing something. You know, today the devil, he's been winning. He's been winning in my life. And, something made me really angry. And I just kind of kept on getting angrier and angrier. And I would start being mean to people. And it wasn't right. Maybe something was done that was wrong to me, but it wasn't right. It had nothing to do with eternity. And so it wasn't right to be angry about, let alone follow it down a rabbit hole, right? And keep on getting more angry. And eventually I had to stop and say, you know what? I'm not going to continue this way. It's not right. It's not the way I should go. I'm not going to be that way, right? And how many times do we do that? We look and we say, this person did something wrong to me. So I got to do something wrong to make it even, to make it right. That old phrase, two wrongs don't make it right, is so true. They might have wronged you, but it's still your choice to do something wrong, right? Still your choice. Or maybe you did something wrong already, and you think, if I do one more wrong thing, it's going to even it out, it's going to make it go away, right? Ain't that what Adam and Eve did in the garden? They sinned, they ate of the fruit, and then they lied to God to try to cover it up. The two wrongs didn't make it right. And neither does it do it in our life. Okay? Secondly, do we blame somebody? Do we blame our neighbor, our friend, our spouse, our brother or sister? Oh, they made me sin, right? You see, that phrase, the devil made me do it, I don't think it truly represents truth. For two reasons. One, when we say the devil made me do it, we look at it and we say, well, there's this cosmic battle between God and the devil, between good and evil, and they're duking it out, and who knows who's going to win. The devil ain't even close to that powerful. I would more liken him to, say, a fly. A fly flies around, it lands on the wall, it bugs you. It might fly by your ear and tickle your ear and bugs you. It might land on you and it bugs you. But as soon as you swat that fly's dead. He's not going to do that no more. You see, God just hasn't swatted that fly. The devil ain't powerful enough to defeat God. In no way possible, right? And secondly, the reason I don't really like that phrase is, just as I said, the devil made me do it. You're putting blame on somebody else for your own sin, for your own choices. It's the devil's fault. He did it, right? Not me. And my neighbor, they took me this place and I sinned. They did this to me and I sinned. It's not right. They made me do it, right? Blame them. They're at fault. Not me. You got to take accountability for your own actions. You can't blame somebody else for them. See, no matter what was done to me, it was my choice to sin. I chose. In fact, let's look at this. Ephesians 6:12, it says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." You see, we're not wrestling against our neighbor or our friend, our brother or sister, or our spouse, or any of them, right? We're not wrestling against them. You see, they're wrestling too. You're wrestling against the rulers of the darkness of this age. But I find it even more interesting because it doesn't say that we're forced to do something in this. It says we're wrestling. We have a choice. We have a choice. We could either sit down and die and just take it, or we can wrestle. We could fight, right? You don't got to sit down and say, man, I can't defeat the devil. He just keeps on tempting me. I keep on giving it to him, so I'm just going to do it. No, choose to fight, right? Secondly, there's people that might say, well, God's going to win in the end. So I can lose all these battles. It's fine. And I would liken that to kind of this. And I'm going to use an example of it being done to you instead of somebody else, right? Because people understand something being done to them more than they understand doing something to somebody else usually. And let's say you're married to somebody and your spouse, they go out and commit adultery. They sleep around all the time. Various people. And they tell these people, you know what? Don't worry about them. They'll be there. They need me. They can't do without me, right? They have to have me. See, to them, you're just a backstop for when nobody else is around that they want to be with. You're just a backstop. Do they really love you? Would they even have you as a backstop if they had somebody else to take that place? It's the same with God. If you say, hey, he's going to just be there, he's always going to be there. He needs me. You're using him as a backstop. Do you really love him? Did you really choose him? I can't answer that for you, but I think you should ask yourself that question and answer it for yourself, right? And find out the truth. Because it matters, right? But, so, we don't wrestle against those people around us. In fact, we don't even wrestle against Satan. As much as he just dangles something in front of us and we go after it, right? It ain't his fault. He just knows our weakness, right? And he gives us something else, feed it, right? But let's read even further. It says it in 1 Corinthians 10:13. It says, no temptation has overtaken you except such as common to man. But God, it says, but God, right, is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. You see, right here we see that God is saying, you know what? You're not tempted beyond what you're able. You're able to conquer any of these temptations. No matter what it is, you can conquer it and be defeated. But if you don't conquer it, you can escape from it to fight it another day. Right? You can escape. You don't believe me? How many times have you been somewhere and you're like, man, I shouldn't be here? Or doing something you should be, I shouldn't be doing this. You need to stand up and run away. You need to stand up and say, I can't be here. I need to go. I can't do this no more. I got to go. God's making a way of escape. And with his power, you can defeat it, right? There's no temptation you can't defeat. But you have to make a choice. Are you going to wrestle? Are you going to fight? Are you going to say, I'm not going to go down this road. I'm not going to be this way anymore. And accept God's power in your life to do so. Or are you going to say, I'm just going to take it. Nothing I can do. I'm just going to do it. You got to choose, right? Same with salvation. You got to choose. You see, there is a cosmic battle. But it's going to come down to your choice. God ain't, the devil, he ain't going to force you. He ain't going to force you. In the New Testament, when Judas was about to betray Jesus, actually in the act of it, God says, it says that Satan entered Judas and he went away, right? And to do what he had planned. But it doesn't seem, it's not like Judas didn't give into it a bunch before that, right? He gave in and said, it's okay if I do this and this and this, right? He opened the door and said, come in, basically. I don't believe that without our own choice that we do what's wrong. It's by our choice that we do what's wrong. We give into it. We give into it, and before you know it, we're on a train headed down there. But it's on the train we chose, right? We might not be the conductor at that point, but that's the train we chose. It's the train we wanted. Where's your train leading you, right? Where's it taking you? Is it taking you to heaven or is it taking you to hell? Is it taking you to God's grace and his mercy that he showed on the cross? Or is it taking you to me, me, me? I'm going to do it because I want it. It's the easy way. See, you got to choose. What's going to be your choice? I know I ask that a lot, but you need to ask yourself that. What is your choice? Because that's what it comes down to. Who do you choose? Are you going to choose God? Are you going to choose life? Or are you going to choose death? Are you going to choose the way that what sin leads to, right? Are you going to choose sin and what it gives you? Or are you going to choose God and eternal life with him? You got to choose, right? I can't do it for you, but I hope. I pray that your choice is God. I hope I see you in eternity and nowhere else, right? Have a great week. I'll be with you next week, right?